Alright, at long last I'm going to try to make FerroFluid, and as I promised I would do. Now firstly, I tried the version with the with the olive oil as the suffocant in the let's see, what else was it? Oh yeah, the mineral oil to suspend it in. And maybe I didn't get the ratios right, but I just think the olive oil things, you probably need a laic acid, really. Olive oil may not really actually work all that well. But this is basically what I got, and this was a random mixture, and what it is like a magnetic blob. Maybe I should put this on flyer mode. But basically it's like a magnetic blob, but it certainly doesn't have the properties of FerroFluid. Because like I said, you can move a small blob, but this is two pretty strong, N42, or I think they're N42 neodymium magnets, the little square bikes magnets that I reviewed. And like I said, it really, it's not that impressive. I mean, if you like blobs, because like a magnetic blob here. So, I don't know if I like that recipe or not. But I'm going to try this other recipe that I heard about. I heard the idea of taking like motor oil and, using that with a magnetic material, usually iron filings, but of course I'm using iron oxide that, subject to this review. Like I said, the good thing about this bag is it does have a zip lock on it, but again, if you puncture something to the side of this, you're going to have a mess on your frickin' hands. That's why I still have yet to put this in a jar. I mean, I'll get around to it one of these days, probably after I've already punctured it and got that's all on my carpet. But anyway, I've never done this before, so this will be an experiment for both of us. Oh, I should have gotten some kind of spoon or something, but I'll just try dipping some out. I'm just going to do this. These are basically these sticks, by the way, are corn dog sticks. I always save these things; they're really handy. Yeah, I'll just try mixing up I guess a fair amount of it here. Nothing to lose. Got plenty of this stuff, and it's the only reason I bought it. So now the thing that sucks too about those, about the fact that this is a Ziploc bag is eventually, you get so much of that iron oxide in it, you probably won't be able to close it. So again, that's the other reason it's not such a great idea. Like I said, it gets everywhere. This stuff is rather difficult to get off. It's really like printer toner or something, for laser printers. Anyway, I got some 10W40 Haviland oil. It's been sitting around for like 20 years, and I'll just pour a little in there and start mixing it up, and we'll try it at various stages because I don't know how much to put in there. Anyway, the theory behind this oil is pretty interesting, because I heard somebody do it and I thought, well, that's kind of retarded, but then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, oil, at the end of the day, motor oil is actually designed to suspend particles, metal shavings and so forth that get in, come off your engine due to wear and tear, as well as other contaminants that are byproducts of combustion, and carry them to your oil filter. They're actually designed to suspend these kind of particles. So I started thinking maybe it's not such a lame idea to use motor oil after all. Maybe it'll work. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to try this method out and see if there's any merit to it. So let me. I gotten carried away here. I want to try to mix just enough, because that's what I'm thinking. Maybe the olive oil thing, I might have gotten carried away with and added too much of the mineral oil, because what I did with the olive oil version, I just mixed enough to wet it, enough of the olive oil in this iron oxide to wet it, and then I tried suspending it after that, in the mineral oil. But You know, because at the end of the day, wetting it is the main objective, right? Because, you know, you want it to lubricate, you know, and encapsulate the individual particles of iron oxide. That's what the oleic acid is for in olive oil. And then the mineral oil kind of acts like a lubricant and suffocant, you know, so it kind of keeps the particles in suspension, and, you know, then you can kind of play around with it. But at any rate, I might have put too much motor oil in here, I don't know. I'm just mixing it up with a stick, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, again, I have no idea this will work. It's pretty viscous, though. I gotta tell you, I probably should have used a lighter weight motor oil, but this is the only motor oil I had lying around. So that's good enough to try and experiment anyway. Let's see what happens. Okay. Oh, well, it's kind of acting. Yeah, actually, it's kind of doing some ferrofluid kind of stuff. It is actually. I can see little spikes. Huh. Yeah, I mean, it's forming the little spikes that you know, you usually see. And they're not huge, but again, given the high viscosity of it, this, you know, because that other stuff just formed blobs, but this is actually doing spikes. I mean, I can actually see spikes on it. So, this has some merit right here. Oops. Watch this stupid camera. Yeah, this has some merit. I mean, I can actually see spikes in it. Huh. When I lay it on edge, I can. Let me try my my super magnets that are popular in my other videos, the round ones. See what happens. Yeah, I can. I mean, I wonder if mixing, you know, more oil would be better or worse. I don't know. You know, this got this magnet strong too. I mean, that sucker is really on there. But yeah, this is pretty high viscosity. Let me look at it under a magnifying glass. Yeah, it is. It's forming little spikes and stuff. Yeah, with this high of a viscosity, though, I think you know, because I was kind of wondering if, like, brake fluid or something like that might be a, you know, might be a suitable material to try as well. It might, you know, again, something lighter weight than motor oil, because this is very viscous. Yeah, that's pretty cool, though. I mean, it really is. You know, even through a magnifying glass, I can see, you know, they're very small spikes, and you know, it's more like a, you know, it's more like just a really rough surface, but it's certainly, you know, got very small spikes. What I could do is try, you know, it might be a bit risky, but I could try to add mineral oil to it to lighten it up, because that's the nice thing about mineral oil, it's really light. But I may screw up my formula here, but I guess I know how to make it again, right? I mean, I got plenty of iron oxide and plenty of motor oil. So, well, I don't want to put these out of the way. But yeah, I mean, basically it does more or less work. I mean, it is very ferrofluid-like. But like I said, you know, it's very high viscosity, you know, when I pull the magnet away from it, you know, it doesn't really, you know, wants to stay in a pile quite a bit. But again, motor oil, in theory, has an emulsifier in it, or a suffocant in it, you know, to grab onto the particles. So let's try mixing a little of that in with it and see. You know, because that other stuff was actually pretty high viscosity too, the mineral oil-based version of it. So I don't know, you know. Okay, watch it start a fire. Look on the side. Never mix with motor oil. It'll kill you. Okay. But I probably just ruined it, but, you know, still, no big deal. I think it's lowered the viscosity. Man, this stupid camera. Need to make a freaking intelligent camera that like tracks your hands. Anyway, I better edit that out because that's one of my inventions. Actually, it's a good idea. You know, a camera that tracks your ring. You know, when you're wearing a ring or something like that. You know, it can try to track. You know, your location of your hands. Okay, let's see what happens here. I mixed some of that in there. Well, at least it didn't ruin it. It's still doing the same thing, so that's good news. Let me look at it under a magnifier here. Yeah, it's got a little better form on the magnetic field. But again, it's still quite viscous. But yeah, it's certainly a better formulation, though, than what I have dealt with. I do think that motor oil is too... Yeah, it's definitely lowered the viscosity quite a bit. I'll try some more of this. Keep trying it until I ruin it. But anyway, the motor oil acts like a good, you know, a good material to actually grip onto the individual iron oxide particles, then, you know, putting another oil in with it might actually work pretty well. Let's see. That's it's certainly interesting. I can't tell if it's less defined or what. Certainly a bigger blob than before, I would say. I mean, it's still not giving me, you know, the spikes and so forth like you see, you know, on most videos. I mean, it still seems like it's a little too viscous. But I think it might have too much oil at this point in it, in theory, which would explain wow, that's made a magnetic cupcake topping. But yeah, it would explain, you know, what's going on in my other, you know, experiment, you know, that I might have just had too much oil in it. Because like I said, it seems a little less defined now, so I'm not totally sure. You know, if mixing more oil in there would be a good idea. It's closer to a blob right now. You'd expect, you know, like I said, most FerroFluid I think is a really thin material. I'm going to make some more motor oil in and see what happens. Actually, you know, I have some 3-in-1 oil, which is really light, but I don't know, that's the strict lubricant, so I don't know if it would actually suspend the particles very much or not. Yeah, because see, the more I add, the more blob-like it gets, you know, it's even less defined now. So, at the end of the day, there's definitely a maximum amount of oil you want to add to it, you know, which doesn't surprise me. But at any rate, it looks promising as an experiment, so, like I said, I've been, you know, promise that I'd make a video on this subject, and I've been putting it off because I've been so busy with 3D printing and all that stuff. So, but anyway, it looks promising, and you can kind of see the results of it. So, but again, something like a really lightweight motor oil, it would probably be better because this 10W40 is pretty high viscosity. So. But it seems to be doing the job. It did a hell of a lot better than my other experiment. Hell of a lot better. And of course, you know, I could restore this by adding more iron oxide to it, and, you know, I don't know if that makes sense to try or not, but, man, I'm getting this stuff everywhere. But again, you know, it's got, that did up the viscosity. It's more viscous now than it was, you know, by putting that last dose of motor oil that I put into it. So, you know, I don't know if we'd be in any better shape making more of a mess with that iron oxide, but I guess we can try it. So now I don't have anything to dip with. It's everywhere. Let's see, what can I dip with? Piece of super glue package. Okay. Make a spatula out of super glue packages. Okay, let me get some. In here I'll put a big, huge amount. Okay, that's what I qualify as a big, huge amount. And let's mix that in. See what happens. Because before, like I said, I almost added too much oil. So, see what happens if I dry it out by adding more iron oxide and see if that improves the characteristics. But again, it's undoubtedly going to make it higher viscosity. And I just know most ferrofluids, from what I've seen, are very low viscosity. That's why they do a lot of tricks. So I know I'm probably just wasting, you know, materials here, but anyway, all in good fun, right? Okay, let's see. Definitely much less fluid-like now. Mix it up like that, and let's give her a try. Let's see, where did my magnet go? Where did my magnet go? What the heck did I do with my magnet? Damn it. Shitting me. Anyway, I'll try it with these original 2 magnets, and yeah, that's gotten us back to a better appearing substance. Again, it's got, you know, fairly triangular spikes in them, but they're pretty small. I appear to have lost my magnets, my other magnets, so I'm probably going to have to rewind the damn tape to figure out where the heck I put them. Unbelievable. I mean, where do you lose a couple of super magnets? And what the frying... Well, here. I got a whole stack of these frickers, so let me see what happens with these. Oh man. Oh hell. See what I just did? I pulled that magnet off the side of that and pulled a bunch of that iron oxide off. Now I got that crap all over my magnets. You know, this stuff's really not pleasant. And it's all over my table and everything. Probably gonna be able to, I'm gonna have to wash my magnets off now. Damn it. Oh, there they are. They were stuck under that bag. So now I got that iron oxide all over those too. Damn it. I'm going to wash these now too. So, you know, like I said, it works pretty well, so, and I hope that's not under the dish. But it makes a hell of a mess, so, you know, watch it. Honestly, something that makes a huge mess coupled with super magnets that want to jump all over the place, you know, is not a good combination. Anyway, but like I said, you know, I can see lighter weight oil probably improving things quite a bit, but it does basically work. And that is basically FerroFluid. So, let me put these out of the way. And that's that big stack, by the way, in case you were curious. So, I didn't much put them sideways, but anyway, the point is that, you know, it does do something. So, like I said, it might be an interesting experiment you can do with some of that stuff if you purchase it. So, poor man's FerroFluid. Again, try lighter weight motor oils, and, you know, if you got any readily available off-the-shelf improvements, you know, post them in the comments section, and be sure to do it directly on the video if you can, so you know, like Google Plus or something, you can never reply to those videos. Anyway, some pretty cool stuff, so enjoy.